Amazing, amazing grace. May God bless you so much. We glorify God because of his mercies. Welcome very much to tonight established marriage program. And tonight will be very brief. We will take like 20 minutes. And the pillar of tonight about established marriage, we speak about godly offspring. Malachi 2 and verse 15. Malachi 2 and verse 15. We can rush there very quickly. Has not the Lord made them one? In flesh and spirit, they are his. We have already looked at that. And why one? This is why this is a pillar. Malachi 2 and verse 15. And why one? That's a question. Why one? Do you get that? Malachi 2 and verse 15. Has not the Lord made them one? In flesh and spirit, they are his. Then he is asking, and why one? Why has God made you one? Because he was seeking godly offspring. So guard yourself in your spirit and do not break faith with the wife of your youth. I hate divorce, says the Lord. So picture this. Picture this. The Lord is saying, in a marriage, he is the one that makes to be of one flesh and one spirit. And then he is asking, why one? Why one? He says, because God is looking for godly offspring. I know this one is quite debatable, depending on your knowledge. But go into the history of the Bible. Any child that was born through a marriage concept, that God was a participant, those children became the glue that stuck the couples together. Get it this way. God, Malachi is asking, why should God make you one flesh and one spirit? It's because he's looking for godly offspring. Many marriages are still holding together. Not because the man and the woman are happy in that marriage, but they are sticking together because of the interest of the children. You meet and ask somebody, and what are you still doing there? My children. You meet a man and ask, what are you still doing with her? I cannot allow my children to be in the house of another man. And the woman says, no. I do not want my children to grow without their father. So you find that marriage going even 100 years together, simply because children were there. Because there is a way children act as a glue that sticks the man and a woman together. For instance, like me, I love my children so much. And the equal measure, I discipline them very severely. Look at it this way. We can go through so much. But imagine I've never thought of a divorce. Why? Because I cannot imagine my children being brought up without me in the picture, because I was brought up by a single mother, and I know the value of a father in the picture, whether he is rich or not rich, but his presence means a lot. Me, I was brought up through family crises where you don't have anybody you can call a father. So when you think of that way, I can go through some certain situations in my marriage and I'll still remain standing, because for one single reason, my children. Whether I am giving them anything or not, I know my presence there. I know in the spiritual realm what that presence is doing. Because me, I know what damage the absence of a father figure did to me. I know there's those who bore their children through the man of their marriage, but today you are divorced. So tell me, man of God, that is children. That is not true. But remember what I've said. I've said godly children. I've not said children. The Bible did not say children. The Bible said godly offspring. Malachi 2:15. Can you consider? Because I know you should ask me. So, man of God, what does it mean, godly children? You know, there are children who are born in the marriage, but they carry bastard dimension. They carry illegitimate dimension. Because maybe the marriage that brought them to life was not through holy matrimony, in terms of was not done through the church program or church means, or it didn't in the initial stage. That marriage didn't have a parental approval. So when you have stayed in the marriage 10 years, that's when you are going out to visit your wife's place to go and report. Already you have a child in class 6 or grade 6, another one in grade 2, another one in baby class. That's when you are going to say, you know. Those children may lack a certain aspect called God recover. They are your children, but are they godly children? And that's what we do, the children dedication, to register our children to God. Not because God is not aware that they exist, no. But because there is something we call spiritual principles, spiritual legalities. 1 Corinthians 7 and verse 14 says, for the unbelieving husband, let's read it from verse 12. To the rest I say this, I not the Lord. If any brother has a wife who is not a believer, and she is willing to live with him, he must not divorce her. And if a woman has a husband who is not a believer, and he is willing to live with him or her, she must not divorce him. For the unbelieving husband has been sanctified through his wife, and the unbelieving wife has been sanctified through her believing husband. Otherwise, your children would be unclean. But as it is now, they are holy. So there are marriages right now. The only rim of hope that is keeping that marriage pressing on is the children. Because the mother is saying, I cannot allow my children to grow up without their father. And the man is saying, I cannot imagine my children struggling in this life when I'm living. So the children makes you remain together. There is a story, I don't know that is the true story, that is normally given about a divorce case that was taken to court. And when they went to court, they wanted to share everything. And they had 3 children. So they were told to divide children. And they tried to divide the children. Each could carry 1.5 child. And that one carry 1.5 child. And because children are not items, you cannot cut them into 2. They said, judge, give us 1 year. We go, and then we will come back to continue the case of divorce when we should have now 4 children, so that we can divide the children into 2, each 2 children, 2 children. And the judge told them it is okay. They went. And they went to make another extra baby. Who is God? They made the baby and they produced twins. So they came back to the court. Now they have 5 children. Are they dividable? No. So they give us another chance. We're going to make another 1 child to make them 6, so that each can go with 3 children, 3 children. They went and they made another whatever and produced twins. So they came back with the 7 children. Is that a couple going to separate? The children are still making them remain together. The equation of children, if you can just understand the equation of children in the marriage, children are so important in the marriage. God is asking, why did I make you one? Why do I allow a believing husband to sanctify his wife and a believing wife to sanctify her husband? It's because I want children who are holy. I want children who are not bastard in the nature. Children who are bastard in the spirit. I want children that they can command godliness. And what is ailing this generation is because we have so many children, but all of them, they don't have the godly nature in the spirit. They are illegitimate in the presence of the Lord. That's why we are doing a lot of things. We use this language of dedication, dedicating the children, dedicating what? Dedicating. That language is because of that illegitimacy demand. So a family that have godly offspring, that your child is known by God, your children know how to pray, your children are believers of God. Imagine those children become the glue that sticks the marriage together for a very long time. I know the way God uses children. If you can just use Psalms 127 verse 3. Psalms 127 and verse 3. 127 and verse 3 says, sons are a heritage from the Lord. Children are reward from him. Like arrows in the hands of a warrior are a sons born in the youth. Blessed is a man whose quiver is full of them. They will not be put to shame when they contend with their enemies in the gate. Psalms 128 verse 3 says, your wife will be like a fruitful vine within your spouse. Your sons will be like olive shoots round your table. Thus is a man blessed who fears the Lord. Do you remember the case of Job and his wife in Job 2? The wife told Job, curse God and die. Why did this woman not have the pain of the husband? Because in chapter number 1, all the children, 7 out of 10 of them, had perished. So she knew if this marriage ends, she doesn't have any burden. She will be left alone in the world. Children dead, husband dead. So she can go and settle in another marriage equation. But what if the children were still there? What if the children were still there? Why was it so easy for Michal to be taken by his father Saul and be given to another man while still in the marriage covenant with David? It's simply because they did not bear children. They did not bear children. You need to ask yourself, my children, are they godly? Are they godly offspring? Are they godly offspring? And that's you notice, many men are bringing up children who are not theirs. And your children are being brought up by another man elsewhere in another marriage equation. Because if the children lack that legitimacy spirit, there is very high likelihood when you and your wife will be at loggerhead, there will be nothing beyond your two reasonings to bring you together. But the children, if they are godly, they act as a glue, as a magnet. So you are tired of your wife, but because of your children, you'll eventually come back home. You are tired of your husband, but because of your children, you'll still come back home and do your wife's chores. Not because of your husband, but because of your children that you do not want to suffer because of your misunderstanding with your husband or with your wife. And along the way, when you are serving the children, because children are the gamani, Mwendatezi na omo marejoni gamani. So the children are a gamani. You will find yourself meeting at the center where children are. And you shall have to reason together for the welfare of the children. So we can just see like 5 ways children make the marriage to continue in exile. Number 1, children are a source of strength. They strengthen the bond between man and a woman, the husband and a wife. In most cases, children strengthens the bond. That you look at your wife and you say, oh, you made me to be a father. So when you see your children, so you honor her. And you look at your husband and tell him, oh, you made me to be a mother. When you look at the children that have the nose like that of your father, and you honor your husband. Children, there is a way God can use them to strengthen the bond between husband and wife. Number 2, children bring a sense of family unity. Remember, nuclear family is made of father, mother, and the children. If you look in most cases where the father or the husband is a stepfather to the children, you will notice in most cases that marriage, unless there is special understanding and acceptance and capacity building, but where the children are the original children in that marriage, that family, those children bring a sense of unity. Because there are things you would not want to do for the fear of children adopting to it. So you notice children become like a source of self-discipline. And actually children can make you develop self-control. Because there are things you do not want your children to run from you. So you will be hiding so many indifferences for the sake of the children. And when you are doing so, do you know when you're doing so, you are making your marriage to conquer its challenges. Also, children bring a source of personal, they are a source of personal growth. When you see your children growing, they make you see yourself. You are growing in life. Also, children bring emotional fulfillment. You look at your child and you feel so good. You look at your children, you feel you are a human being. They make you see yourself as of value. When you look in your marriage, you look at your children as a wife. When you look at your children, those children makes you be able to paint your value in this man's life. And you as a man, when you look at your children, they help you to see the value of your wife in your life. When that picture continues because of the children now, how will you eventually devalue each other? Unless mukuna people. Also, children brings shared responsibility. When you are sharing responsibility about the children upbringing, you will eventually meet at the center. About the children, there is a couple that divorced some several years ago. It's a couple I know, and they divorced in a manner that was not very pleasant. They even took each other to court about the custody of the children. And I would see they have to even to go to the court to be given a court order on how to share responsibility for the children. So the mother stays the children from Monday to Friday. In the Friday evening, the man comes and picks children to be with him during the weekend. And because it's something that I observed, the guy would come and park the car at the gate and call the mother and tell the mother, I am here at the gate. Tell the children to come, but don't bring them. What? Imagine, so the children are released from the house in a manner that the mother can see, and the father comes of the car so that there can be that visibility until the children are with the father, and then they go away. And that is how they were living. The woman was crying. She was asking me, man of God, you want to tell me the father of my children cannot even forbear or endure to look at me, at my face? What is this did I do to him that he hates me so much? And I understood children are supposed to be the meeting point. So when you are estranged, children are supposed to allow you to meet. And I told them we are going to pray. And we prayed. After a short while, the man told her, can you bring the children to the car? And she brought the children to the car. He took the children, he went away with them, we cared. And then on the Sunday evening, he brought the children straight to the house. They had the time to sit down to talk and that. And I realized, okay, so children can be even a major reconciliation factor. Reunion. Children are a major reason for reconciliation, reunion, and all that. And also children give you or give a sense of purpose. When you look at your children, you see the purpose of the marriage. And you see the purpose for continuing to believe in that marriage. Because you would rather remain there, endure everything, until you see eventually it goes to the advantage of the children. So children, there is a way God can use children, godly offspring, to make the marriage eventually succeed. So don't take your children ignorantly. That's why I advise many people, dedicate your children to God with an offering. Those children, because times of testing the marriages will come. And those already have gone through that time of testing. But as long as the children are there, those children remain a glue that would make both of you reconsider when you come at the point of separation. You reach that point of divorcing. But the children, when they come in the picture, they make you to recede. They make you to rethink. They make you to reconsider. Because from there, you will see, at the expense of our interests, children, innocent children, are going to suffer. So you choose to forfeit your interest for the sake of the children. And before you know it, the time is still counting. By the time you are coming to realize that, oh, even the divorce threat expired and ended, you are at an advanced stage of excellence and establishment. whereby now you are enjoying your marriage. May our children become the strength of our bond in our marriages. Look at your children, husband and wife, and let those children make you appreciate each other by realizing that without each of you both being in the same equation, there is no way those children could come into being. So those children should always be a reminder of your marriage purpose. So children are able to paint a purpose for the marriage, and eventually that marriage remains stable and eventually excels. May God bless you so much as you continue to nurture your marriage to excellence. In Jesus' name, amen.